Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, your girl is looking a little bit different. I decided to try out a different look. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Anyway, on today's video, I am going to be doing a pregnancy Q&A. So I went on my Instagram and asked you guys to hit me up and ask me some questions relating to pregnancy. And I got a few questions here. So if you're interested, then just keep watching. The first question is morning sickness as bad as people say it is? Wow. Okay. So, morning sickness is different for different people, obviously. So, I'm going to be talking about my personal experience. Because my personal experience was hell. It was the worst thing for me because I did not have morning sickness. I had all day, everyday sickness for 3 months. Basically, the way morning sickness feels like, it feels like you're just having a hangover for a whole 3 months. I feel like I had a hangover. And it was so incredibly awful because I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I almost couldn't, I didn't even want to be around people. I didn't want to watch anything on my phone or on TV. I just almost just wanted to be in a dark room. I didn't want to be stimulated at all. Like I just wanted to be in a dark room all the time. And it was just the worst thing. I've never ever felt like that. I was nauseous all the time. I was vomiting. But the worst part is I was vomiting, but I didn't eat much. Like most of the food that I tried to eat was just not going in. I remember there was a time I was just like, I have to have done something wrong because I was like, there's no way that it feels this bad. Because from every experience of I've seen from other people, that morning sickness wasn't all that bad, or there was just something that they were not telling me. So I was just thinking that maybe something is not okay. I remember going to the doctor and being like, are you sure this is fine? Because I'm weak and tired all the time. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to eat. I don't want to sleep. I don't want to go out. I was just a hot mess for 3 months, and it really put a dent on my pregnancy, especially in the beginning, because I was just like thinking that I was just not going to enjoy it at all. Like it was so horrible. So for me, it was actually just not the best thing. So was it as bad as everybody says it is? For me, it was really that bad. So I don't know about other people, but for me, definitely it was not easy. How did you tell your mom? Okay, so if you're a Motswana, then you know that pregnancy, like no matter how old you are, no matter how in a good space you are, or how great your relationship is, or if you have the best job that pays you all the money, being pregnant is just a very taboo thing. I feel like people are happier for you when you have a baby than they're happier for you when you're pregnant, you know. So it was not easy just telling people, and it was definitely not easy telling my mom. I think I tried to tell her like about 3 times, where I completely failed and chickened out. But when I finally did, what happened was we spent the whole day together. I don't live with her, so she came, she picked me up, and we did some errands together. And then I had psyched myself up that morning that today is going to be the day to tell her. And I was going to tell her just somewhere in between running all those errands so that we can have like some time to talk about it. But what happened was we ran the errands, and then I almost chickened out. But when she dropped me off at home, I gave her a picture of my scan. My very first scan, I gave her a picture, and she just looked at me like, she was like, it was a typical Motswana mom reaction, where it's not like crazy, oh my God, I'm so happy for you, whatnot. It's just like, so when did you find out? And I was like, okay, I found out when I did. And she asked me, do I feel ready? I told her that I do. And she asked me how Junita felt about it. And then I told her how happy he was. And she was just like, well, you guys are old enough. You've been responsible so far. So I'm happy for you, like good for you and good luck. And that's basically it. So it wasn't really that big of a deal. She kind of showed excitement just during my pregnancy, but when I first told her, she was just kind of shocked and looked like she just had this weird look in her face, like, oh my god, my child is pregnant. Yeah, but she got into it, and she, yeah, ultimately was happy for us. What were people's reactions, especially family, to you being pregnant, especially that you are unmarried? um I think for me, for the most part, everybody was happy for us. If there was anybody who was feeling some type of way about it, then they didn't quite show it to our faces or didn't even say it or anything, and that's fine with me. But for the most part, people were pretty positive and pretty happy for us. I think for us, it was a little bit expected because we had been together for a very long time and living together for a very long time. So it was kind of expected that something like this was going to happen, especially after I finished school. People were just either waiting for us to get married or to have a baby. It was just something that was expected, I think, of us. So not a lot of people were kind of like, are you sure? Is it really what you want? Or do you want to wait for marriage or whatever? Like, not a lot of people really said anything of that sort to me. If they did feel that way, then they definitely did not do it to our faces. I am aware of the stigma that is there in especially our country, where like people always have some reservations when you are unmarried and then you fall pregnant. People always feel like it's a better situation when you are married. And after going through it, I see the point. I see how it could be better when you are married, but you know, ultimately it's the decision of two people. If they're ready to have a baby, if they're ready to get married, it's their decision. And yeah, so if it's a mistake, then it's their mistake to make. And if it's the best thing that you can possibly do, really, is just be happy for people and just hope for the best. If something wrong happens, then be supportive. You know, just don't be the person that is just like always just talking about how bad things are gonna be, you know. How did you know you were ready to try for a baby? I think that for me, I never really felt like I never felt like I was ready, because I mean, do you ever feel like you're ready for this kind of thing? I mean, for us as a couple, we definitely wanted to make sure that we were ready financially. That was like one of the most important things for us. We also wanted to make sure that as far as our relationship was, we had a good, strong, solid relationship, that fundamentally all our values and all of everything that we felt in terms of raising a baby were aligned. We wanted to make sure that we knew what we wanted, the type of family that we wanted, the type of way that we wanted to raise our family, and all that stuff. We really had to make sure that those values were aligned for us to actually make that decision to start trying for a baby. But like I said, you never really feel ready for this kind of thing. The best thing that you can do is to just make sure that everything that you have control over in terms of your finances, where you guys are gonna live, and all that stuff, all of those things. Like the best case scenario is for you to obviously be sure that all of those are taken care of and they're good before you bring a baby into the world. But I've seen babies be raised and be healthy in all kinds of different conditions, so it's not a big deal. How soon did you pick baby's name? How soon did we pick baby's name? We picked baby's name pretty soon. Like, I think I've mentioned this before in a different Q&A video, that we actually had this name just in the back burner. It was a name that we were very sure that we wanted to use from the time that we started talking about wanting to have kids and all that stuff. And when I found out that I was pregnant, for the first couple of months, we thought that the baby was going to be a girl, and we started calling the baby Maru in my stomach. So every time that we would refer to him, we would say Maru. Every time that We would talk to my stomach or talk to him when he was still in my stomach. We would refer to him as Maru. And when we found out that it was a boy, we were so attached to the name, and it was just too late to even try to change it. And at one point we thought, when we started actually with the name, we thought that it was a girl's name, but then we found out there are other boys who are called Maru, so it was actually a unisex name, which was very exciting to find out. But yeah, we just thought it would be so weird now to start calling this baby a different name after calling him Maru for so long. So we just stuck with the name, and that's how the name came about. Like, his name is Maru, and he's been Maru ever since he was like a little bit of a fetus. What was the first pregnancy symptom that you noticed? The first pregnancy symptom that I noticed was my breasts. They got bigger, they felt a bit swollen. At first I thought that is typically what would happen when I'm just about to get into my period, but it felt different, you know. It felt like they were, like it was a bit more swollen and a bit more, like they were growing up a bit more than than when I'm about to get into my period. So, and also I was just on the lookout for pregnancy because I knew that we were trying. So I definitely was just like, okay, this is different, so I definitely need to check this out. And yeah, so that was the first symptom. Next question is, what was the biggest challenge about being pregnant? I think for me, the biggest challenge was definitely the physical of it, the physicality of it all, the being sick all the time, and also my body just changing. That was a very difficult thing for me because I'm just typically somebody who never gets sick. I don't get sick much. Like, I don't go to the doctor much. I don't get sick much. I never had to stay overnight at a hospital before Ru was born. So I was just a typically healthy person. So being sick all the time and having all these symptoms of nausea all the time, vomiting, I had heartburn, I had indigestion, I had swollen feet. I wasn't able to walk very late in my pregnancy. There was just so many little things that were going on with my body that was making things just physically uncomfortable for me, and that was very, very difficult. And I hated the fact that I couldn't do a lot of the things that I used to be able to do, like walking longer distances, going up the stairs, and you know, just having a full day of shopping. Or I had to, sometimes at the mall, I had to sit down for a little bit. So that was very difficult for me, and that was, I guess, the most challenging thing for me about being pregnant. It's just the physical discomfort of it all. I have to say, for me, I think that I am not like a pregnancy person. There are women out there who enjoy pregnancy, who glow, who look beautiful, and they just like, they are just so good at being pregnant. I am not that person. I don't like being pregnant. I didn't like it at all. I think that the reward, it's absolutely amazing. The reward is great. Obviously, you have a beautiful baby boy or a beautiful baby girl, but I don't like being pregnant. If I could have babies without the journey of pregnancy, I would definitely take that. I really did not like being pregnant. But I understand that it's something that you have to go through in order to obviously have a baby. But yeah, it was just not my thing. Pregnancy is just not my thing. What is the best thing about being pregnant? The best thing about being pregnant for me is just getting away with a lot of things, you know? I just got away with a lot of things, not just with my partner, but with the society in general. I think the world is just a lot easier on you when you're pregnant. You know, when you're at the mall and you feel tired, you know, people are just quick to help you out and give you a chair to sit on, or give you water if you need to drink water, or just, they were just so easy on you, and they were just so gentle with you when you're pregnant. So I just miss that, you know. There was just so, so caring. You know, they treated you like this delicate person. I remember one time when I was in Pick and Pay, and I was exhausted. It was very late in my pregnancy, and I was so exhausted, and my feet were swollen, and I was just so tired. You know how Cassius at the till they have that chair there? She stood up from her chair and offered it to me to sit down, and it was so sweet because she continued on working while standing up, and typically they sit down. So it was so sweet of her to just give me a chair. So I really miss that kind of treatment by everybody. So that's what I miss about pregnancy. Other than that, I don't think I miss anything else. I'm good. The next question says, what was worse for you, the first trimester or the third trimester? Definitely the first trimester was a lot worse than the third one. I think the third one, I was just a lot I was a lot used to being pregnant, and I wasn't expecting much. I wasn't waking up expecting to have all this energy. But I think the first trimester hit me hard because I wasn't expecting things to change so quickly. The moment I found out that I was pregnant, it's like the next day I started feeling sick. It's like that thing where people say, like, you after a diagnosis of a disease, you start feeling sick. So I definitely felt like that was what happened with me. By the time I was in my third trimester, I think it was easier for me because I felt like I was getting closer to the finishing line. So I wasn't feeling too depressed about it or feeling too bad about it. So I was soldiering on through it, knowing that it's about to end. But the first trimester was especially hard because I didn't know if it was going to end. I didn't know that is that what's going to happen for all of my 9 months. So I was definitely having a harder time with my first trimester than I did with my third trimester. The next question is, what did you crave the most when you what did you crave the most, if you had any cravings? I did not have like very severe cravings where I've heard that other women would like have like the weirdest of cravings where they'll wake up in the middle of the night and just have to eat like acha or something. No, but I did have a craving for really icy stuff. I wanted icy drinks like slushies or cool time or ice pop or stuff like that. I remember I used to just drive to the cinema just to buy the slushie. That's it. Like, I wouldn't watch a movie or anything. I would just drive. And for if you, I live in Block 8, so from Block 8, the nearest cinema is like Pagalani, or I would go to like Masa. So it's pretty far because we don't have a cinema in Airport Junction. So I had to go to Masa or I had to go to Pakalani to get my slushies, and I made that drive because I just had to. It was not easy because with slushies I can't just get somebody to just go get them for me because they'll have obviously melted by the time they get to me. So I had to take the trip. So it was definitely something that I craved. I didn't really have that much crazy cravings. Yeah, so yeah. How long did it take till you guys successfully conceived? It says, love your channel, by the way. Thank you so much. How long did it take for us to conceive? It did not take us that long. So what happened was when we started having the conversation about having kids, it was like in December. We were like, okay, so that is the next step that we want to take for our relationship. That was the next step that we wanted to take for our relationship. And then we decided to start trying in January. So in January we decided, okay, you know what, we're gonna start trying. And then what I did was I downloaded an app that tracks when I'm ovulating. And then I remember the first time it said I was ovulating was around Valentine's week in 2019, last year. It was around Valentine's week, and I remember just saying to him that, oh, I'm ovulating this week, so hey. So then we just was like, we didn't really like think much. We never got to a point where, you know how couples become so obsessed with getting pregnant and then they just it's not fun anymore. I've seen it in the movies where it's just not fun anymore. It just feels like a chore. Sex was starting to feel like a chore to get pregnant. But no, for us, I was just like, hey, it's Valentine's week. I'm ovulating, so let's just have a very exciting week. So that is the week that I successfully conceived Rue. So it was the first time we tried, and it was when I got pregnant. Were you in any form of birth control before deciding to try for a baby? No, I was not in any form of birth control. We were just using a condom. With the pill, I've tried it a little bit before, but the problem with the pill is that I'm not very good with schedules, especially where I have to take something at exactly a certain time every single day. I'm not good at that because things are very different. Like one day I'm here, the other day I'm there, or I'm just not good at that. So I never really successfully finished like a whole pack of a month subscription of a pill. So I just decided, you know what, this is something that I'm just not good at. So I wasn't in any kind of contraception before I got pregnant. What are you most grateful for? I think the biggest thing that I'm grateful for is that I had what was typically a healthy pregnancy. I didn't, there was no complications whatsoever. There was no time I went to the doctor and there was something wrong with either me or the baby. Every feeling or every symptom or every time that I felt sick or anything, it was just a typical pregnancy symptom. So I never really had any issues with the baby not feeling too well, or with me not feeling well that was affecting the baby. So definitely that is what I'm grateful for, that I had a typically healthy pregnancy. My baby was healthy up until I delivered. So that is definitely something that I'm very, very grateful for. I know that we live in a world where so many things could have went wrong and so many things could have went differently. So I'm very, very grateful that that was my experience. How does it feel having another heartbeat grow inside of you? Oh my God, guys. It is just the most incredible thing. I think it's very easy to just get, when you're pregnant, it's very easy to just become so busy with a lot of things that you forget that you are actually growing another human being inside of your stomach. And when I heard his heartbeat for the first time at the doctor's appointment, I remember I was with Janita and we both just had that moment of like, holy, I have a baby growing inside of me and it has a heartbeat and it's real. And it was just one of those incredible experiences that, it makes everything, all the morning sickness and all the all the morning sickness and all the heartburn and all the pains and all of that, it makes it also worth it, because there's nothing like having a heartbeat. There's nothing like hearing your baby's heartbeat inside of you. It's incredible. It is amazing. And it is even more incredible just seeing him, seeing him inside of you, just swimming around the amniotic fluids and just, showing some bit of personality with his hands and all of these things. It's just so amazing, and it makes you feel so grateful, and it makes all these other things that we complain about in pregnancy feel so small. And then there's hearing him kick inside of you. Like, for the first time when you hear it, I remember when I heard him kick for the first time, I thought, wait, is that gas or what's going on? Like, at first I was like, there's no way, it's too early, or I don't know. And then when I first heard him kick and I was sure that, oh my God, this is a baby kicking in my stomach, it was like so crazy. It was just the craziest thing, and it was so amazing, and I would never take that for granted whatsoever. And if I have to do it all over again just to feel those little moments, then I'll definitely go through the whole morning sickness and the horror of pregnancy just to have those moments, just to have that moments where his heart is beating and you can hear it, and the moments where he's kicking and your partner's hand is on the stomach and he also gets to hear him kick. It really, really just solidifies how special and how precious it is to grow a life inside of you. And it is just the most amazing thing. And I think that everybody who's experienced it will definitely tell you about how crazy it is to actually just have a baby grow inside of you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If there are any more questions about pregnancy or anything like that, do hit me up and I'll definitely answer them for you guys. It's been real. Thank you. See you guys in my next video. Bye.